Welcome to my channel. The Healer's Touch, Episode 2. Elias fled through the darkened corridors of his clinic, his breath ragged. The healed patients followed, their bodies moving with unnatural grace, their eyes glowing with something not of this world.
He burst into his office, locking the door behind him. His trembling hands reached for the vial of silver liquid, the source of this nightmare. It could have driven them out if it had let them in.
You cannot undo a gift, Doctor.
Lucien stood by the window, his pale smile unwavering.
You thought you were healing them, but were merely remaking them. Their sickness left, but something else had to take its place.
Elias clutched the vial, realizing it was dawning. It wasn't a cure, it was an infection. Desperate, he shattered the vial against the desk. The silver liquid writhed, slithering toward him like living mercury. The door shuddered. His patients were almost inside.
With no other choice, Elias grabbed a scalpel and plunged it into his arm, slicing deep.
His blood mixed with the silver, and for the first time, the liquid screamed. The clinic shook. Outside, the patients convulsed, their glowing eyes dimming, their perfect skin cracked, and the things inside them shrieked as they were torn away. Elias collapsed, gasping. The clinic fell silent. When he looked up, Lucien was gone. Only a single note remained on his desk. Every cure has side effects. See you soon, Doctor. Elias awoke in a hospital bed, his arm bandaged, his mind foggy. The clinic was ruined, condemned, no trace remained of the patients he had cured. The world had moved on, but Elias knew the truth. The things he had invited in were still somewhere, waiting. Days passed in a haze of paranoia. Every shadow stretched too long, every reflection lingered a second too late. His dreams were filled with whispers. You opened the door, we are still here. Then, one night, a package arrived. No return address. Inside, a single vial of silver liquid and a note. One more patient needs your help, Doctor. Yourself. His hands shook as he held the vial. His body still ached. The cut on his arm refused to heal. The infection wasn't left. It had simply gone deeper. His reflection flickered. For the briefest moment, his eyes weren't his own. The final stage of the cure had begun. Elias stared at the silver vial, his breath shallow. His body felt wrong, his veins ached, and his skin tingled as if something beneath it was stirring. The infection wasn't left. It had only been biding its time. His reflection in the window twitched. His lips didn't move, but his reflection smiled.
You can't fight it, Doctor, the reflection whispered.
Elias stumbled back, heart pounding. The vial trembled in his grip. Could it truly cure him, or would it finish what had already begun? His fingers hovered over the cap. Then the door creaked open.
You were my finest success, Elias. Do you know why?
Lucien stood there, watching with amusement. He stepped closer, his voice velvet soft.
Because you still believe you can be saved.
Elias's chest tightened. He could feel something spreading inside him, twisting through his bones, coiling around his thoughts. His hands clenched the vial, his final hope.
Go on, take the cure. Let's see what you become.
Elias exhaled sharply. Then, with one last desperate act, he drank. The silver burned like fire down his throat, his body convulsing instantly. He collapsed, pain ripping through every cell. His vision darkened and his heartbeat slowed. The last thing he saw was Lucien watching intently, like an artist admiring his masterpiece. And then, silence. The next morning, the hospital room was empty. No sign of struggle, nobody. Only the vial shattered on the floor, and the mirror where a faint silver outline of Elias still lingered, smiling. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe and comment below.